Bruh.
That's what we're saying.
Tom Krause, working at Treasury, you are having access to.
My bad. I guess Mike went mute for some reason. But pretty much what I was saying was, how the hell is it only 1.5? Like I said, they had us honestly believing that they was kicking in office doors, pretty much going like, oh, y'all get the hell up out of here. Trump's in office, baby. But really, they kicking in office doors and pointing out one guy and was like, all right, yeah, you're up out of here. Pointing out another guy and be like, you know what? We're going to let you stay, but write me a good story about why you should be here. And there's your 1.5.
So the payment system oversees all the outgoing payments. Essentially, those payments were going places we didn't know where they were going, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case, Brett. You know, as an ex-CFO of a big public tech company, really what we're doing is we're applying public company standards to the federal government. And it is alarming how the financial operations and financial management is set up today. There is actually really only one bank account that's used to disperse all monies that go out of the federal government.
Time out.
Really?
One bank account.
One?
It's a big one.
It's a big
I mean,
one.
it's a big one.
It's a big one.
Big ass.
A couple weeks ago, it had $800 billion in it, but it's the Treasury General account. So when you hear, you know, some of my colleagues here, what they're talking about in terms of the fraud, you have to ask, well, why is this allowed to happen at a financial level? Well, it's actually quite simple but alarming. The Treasury, up until now, and thanks to President Trump, we're fixing this. In fact, there's an executive order that he just signed the other day, which is protecting America's bank account, because it really is the taxpayers' money. You know, one, we're changing the culture. The culture is been not a lot of caring and not a lot of commitment to doing what's right relative to financial operations. There's a $500 billion of fraud every year. There's hundreds of billion dollars of improper payments, and we can't pass an audit. The consolidated financial report is produced by Treasury, and we cannot pass it on. We have material weaknesses. What that means is that if I was a public company CFO, I would effectively be removed. I couldn't file financial statements. I couldn't issue securities, which of course we depend on. Can't pass it on.
Right. The federal government cannot pass an audit. It's impossible. In fact, in order to pass an audit, you need the information necessary to pass an audit. You need to have the payment codes, you need to have the payment explanation, and you need to have a person you can contact to understand why that payment was made. None of those things were mandatory.
Damn, that's scary. So he's like, bro, even to run an audit, we would, for one, it's like, bro, they're handing us half-ass payment information. It's like, we know what payment went out, but we don't know what for, to who, why, what, like, don't know. It's like, well, what audit can you honestly do when we have like half-ass payment reports? Honestly, it sounds like we have redacted like payment slips. It's like, all right, so it shows the payment, it shows where it goes, but then for the reason, the bank account, everything's just redacted. Like that's when you start seeing like black marks all over the paper and all that good stuff. Like that's weird, and it's unacceptable. So like our own financial statements lack transparency. Where we're sending our money, who's giving us money, all that just lacks transparency. That's crazy.
Until just recently, just a few weeks ago. In fact, maybe last week.
Yeah, we're serving 580 plus agencies. And up until very recently, effectively, they could say, make the payment, and Treasury just sent it out as fast as possible. No verification. And so what we're doing is what any household would do. But imagine you're a household, you have a bank account, everyone has an ATM card connected to that account. Yeah. Everyone has a checkbook connected to that account. It's not just your children. It's not just your parents. It's your in-laws. It's your extended family. And they all can go to the account and disperse funds. No questions asked. No justification. No verification.
Up next, the Doge team targets government contracts, and we'll show you what they're finding. Tyler Hassan, Interior Department. You're a former oil company CEO. You're reviewing contracts before they're approved for funding. What are you finding?
Well, Elon and Steve kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but I actually found that customer service survey contract. I actually have an example of one right here. I could have done this in high school, and I found it.
Is that bad?
I found it on the weekends because under the Biden administration, there was no departmental oversight within the Department of Interior whatsoever. None. We are now reviewing every single contract, every single grant, and when things come to my attention that don't make sense, I'm bringing them to Secretary Burgum, and he's been fantastic. He's a businessman. He's very supportive of Doge. It's been wonderful to work with him.
Is the battle between government of decades and decades of buildup and business, which you guys are, is that like a train hitting each other? I mean, it seems like it's pretty disruptive.
Well, this is a revolution.
And speaking of contracts, let's go to my man Elon's website real quick. Well, Doge.gov. Yeah, shout out Doge.gov, right? And this was updated yesterday at 8:47 a.m. So, yeah, I mean, today they released this. All right, yesterday's agencies terminated 113 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $4.7 billion and savings of $3.3 billion, including a $145K USDA consulting contract for Peru climate change activities. Plus, the Doge leaderboard has been updated. I'm weak as hell. So, yeah, there's the whole, I guess this is the payment slip, or this is how they sent it in through the computer. And all right. So they ain't BSing us. They ain't BSing us. All right, let's get right back to it. And make sure y'all like the video, man. Go ahead and double tap that screen for me.
And I think it might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. But at the end of the day, America is going to be in much better shape. America will be solvent. The critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely. One of the things I learned at PayPal was who complains the loudest and with the most amount of fake righteous indignation? The fraudsters. It's a tell. There's some of these NGOs that are crazy, like the $2 billion to Stacey Abrams' NGO that basically didn't exist and suddenly gets $2 billion awarded from the federal government. She has why? And there are many such cases like that.
I think that most people, common sense wise, would say the fraud's got to end.
Yeah.
They're concerned about the 94-year-old mother who skips a check or somehow doesn't get what she's supposed to get.
Right. And what we're trying to say is actually that the 94-year-old grandmother is actually, as a result of Doge's work, going to get her check. She's not going to be robbed by fraudsters like she's getting robbed today. And the solvency of the federal government will ensure that she continues to receive those Social Security checks, that Medicare continues to work, without which we're all doomed. The reason we're doing this is because if we don't do it, America's going to go insolvent. We're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, and let's get some scammer training for those guys in the Social Security office, because y'all are handling people's. Some people rely on their Social Security. So the fact that y'all are letting people scam you out of other people's money is crazy. Like,
you what?
Yeah, some of these people need to be fired. Look, if you were able to let somebody's Social Security get scammed, you took that call and they scammed your ass to go ahead and give over this old lady's money to some random dude's account or lady's account. Alert, you need to be fired. Or at least we need to put some money into, I guess, what's that training? Scam training or whatever, or cybersecurity training. There you go.
And nobody's going to get anything.
Why are you guys all doing it? You can pipe up, but you don't have to be here, right? You don't have to be doing this.
I have blessed with 4 beautiful children, my wife and I. But we have a real fiscal crisis, and this is not sustainable. And what's worse, back to my children and everyone else's children, is we are burdening them with that debt, and it's only going to grow.
Steve, there's not a lot of hierarchy here. You guys are kind of all approaching it in different, silos, but with the same kind of goal, right? This is really Silicon Valley, private sector colliding with government.
Yeah, exactly. And we're headed in a bad path, but the chance of success
exists. And just the one that just is in my head right now, which is a fairly mundane one, but I think is very illustrative, is credit cards. There are in the federal government around 4.6 million credit cards for around 2.3 to 2.4 million employees. This doesn't make sense.
Right.
And so one of the things all of the teams have worked on is we've worked with the agencies and said, do you need all of these credit cards? Are they being used? Can you tell us physically where they are?
I hope they're getting frequent flyers.
Actually, on a different note, the rewards program the federal government has is actually not very good. That's a whole other.
It's a negotiation.
Right.
I'm a weak as hell. It's like the rewards program the federal government give you on your credit card is shit. Like, your best going out to our people at Capital One and chasing them. And American Express, man, we ain't got nothing for you over here. But nah, I ain't gonna lie, I do need to get that back over. Because, like, bro, I remember when they were saying, like, yo, there's way more credit cards. Like, what was it? They said, like, I don't know. It was some asinine number, like 10 times the credit cards than U.S. citizens. And I was able to rationalize that in my head because there are people who got like 4 or 5 credit cards. Like, wild enough, I know, like crazy, but they do.
Exists. And just the one that just is in my head right now, which is a fairly mundane one, but I think is very illustrative, is credit cards. There are in the federal government around 4.6 million credit cards for around 2.3 to 2.4 million employees. This doesn't make sense.
Right.
And so one of the things all of the teams have worked on is we've worked with the agencies and said, do you need all of these credit cards? Are they being used? Can you tell us physically where they are?
I hope they're getting frequent flyers.
Actually, on a different note, the rewards program the federal government has is actually.
Hold on, so somebody rocking around with a bunch of government credit cards, damn near living life on free. Yeah, where are these damn credit cards at? Because there could be somebody out there wilding with a whole bunch of credit cards on them going like, swipe. Oh, that one hit its limit. Swipe, automatic, just swiping that taxpayer money, man, all day, baby.
Not very good. That's a whole other.
It's a negotiation.
Right, yeah, exactly. But so far the teams have worked together and they've reduced it from 4.6 million to 4.3 million. So
we're taking it easy. But clearly there should not be, more. There should not be more credit cards than there are people. Yeah.
Joe, middle-level employees, are they seeing a benefit to being empowered by taking out bureaucracy? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, I think what you're seeing is taking the best of Silicon Valley and the business world and bringing it into the government. We're bringing the best practices and the best methodologies, and people are inspired. Right, especially on the retirement process, which I can speak to. They've been trying to modernize and get off of paper since early 2000s, very unsuccessfully. Every attempt has gone over budget and been canceled because it hasn't been successful. And so, I showed up and I feel like I'm here because it's an interesting problem. We can use design to solve it and good engineering and really create a better experience for everybody.
We're talking about elementary financial controls that are necessary for any company to function. So, like, if the federal government,
that's what I'm saying is like all the shit your basic like company would have, even your mom and pop shop would have, the government don't. The government is ran less efficiently than your regular mom and pop shop. Like, bruh.
If a commercial company operated the way the federal government does, then it would be immediately go bankrupt. It would be delisted. The officers would be arrested. And the changes we're putting in place will enable the federal government to pass an audit. It will enable taxpayers to know where the money is going and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well. But the ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. So if the computer systems don't talk to each other, then you can exploit that gap, and fraudsters exploit that gap, take advantage. For example, there were over $300 million of Small Business Administration loans that has been given out to people under the age of 11.
Well, actually, to add to it, it's 300 million under the age of 11 and over 300 million to over the age of 120.
Definitely
small business loans.
Correct.
Yes. The oldest American is 114. So it's safe to say if their age is 115 or above, they're fake. Or they should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And we should not be giving out loans to babies. So the youngest recipient of a Small Business Administration loan is a 9-month-old, which is a very, very precocious baby we're talking about here. So obviously,
I mean, hey man, now that baby trying to get to that money. That baby got a LLC, got a business, got some income coming in at 9 months years old. Boy, that baby is a hustler.
which is fraudulent.
I'm hating on that.
And they do terrible things. They actually will see that a kid's been born. They will steal that kid's social security number and then take out a loan and leave that kid with a bad credit rating.
Yeah.
There was literally a baby. The terrible things are being done is what we're saying.
And how?
I mean, Elon would be surprised what happens in the hood. I mean, bro, there's people who put their light bill under a kid's name. There's people who put like no cap. Like, I can see that. There's people who would probably put an SBA loan in their kid's name. Wild enough.
We're stopping these terrible things.
And you can stop it? I mean,
well, we are stopping it.
You are stopping it.
The reason this is
Absolutely.
happening is because the two systems are not talking to each other.
Yes.
Right. And so you don't know at the Small Business Administration that you're giving a loan to a 9-month-old, which happened in one case, because you're not cross-referencing that with the Social Security Administration data that has birth dates. So that very, very simple fix eliminates tremendous fraud. And that there are multiple systems across the government where the systems are not speaking with one another. And if you just solve that simple problem, you would solve a huge amount of fraud.
All right. Now, guys, can you go ahead and double tap that screen for me and like the video, man? Let's get the likes up. We got over 100 y'all in here, man. Let's get the 50 likes. So double tap that screen for me, the 3 dots up there in the corner. Also, you can go ahead and super chat into the show with any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements. $2 and up. I'll be happy to read it out loud and post it to the top of the screen. Let's keep it going, guys.
So one of the ways that, like one of the key tricks that the fraudsters pull is that they will use the fact that someone is marked as live and as sort of just that social security number is marked as live in Social Security, and then get disability and unemployment insurance for a dead person. Because the databases don't talk to each other, all they got was from Social Security is like, is this person alive? Yes, they're not alive. It's falsely marked. Person is falsely marked as alive in Social Security, but they didn't. But that person, a fraudster can now get unemployment and disability from a dead person. This is happening all the time at scale.
Are you surprised at some of the legal efforts and some of the judges that have?
So there's some scammer out there right now. A whole lot of Social Security cards is just collecting racks on racks every month on Social Security fraud. Bro, I mean, that's how they're making it sound. They're making it sound like there's just some scammer out there who's just sitting on bands, sitting on money, just with all these Social Security cards who've been able to get these people security, transfer their Social Security over, and then move on with their life. And just wait for the problem to be fixed, I guess. I know, right? Crazy.
Have weighed in. There's about 8 or 10 now of these cases that are at least temporary holds. They're being challenged by the DOJ.
Right.
Are you surprised by that pushback?
Well, it's the DC Circuit is notorious for having a very far left bias. And when you look at the people close to some of these judges, where are they working? Oh, they're working at these NGOs. Oh, they're the ones getting this money. Does that seem like a system that lacks corruption? It sounds like corruption to me.
Last thing, do you guys all see this as a patriotic duty? Is that really what this is about?
It's essential.
Very much
I
so.
do, 100%. I was running 5 businesses in Houston, and I left that. I left great people to do this, and my wonderful wife said, "Go for it," and here I am. But I feel like this is me giving back to the country.
If we don't do this, we're sunk. The ship, unless this exercise is successful, the ship of America will sink.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it.
Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate the time today, and hopefully it took some of the myth and mystery out of Doge and what's happening behind the scenes.
Thank you.
We asked on Axe, your platform, for some,
everything's sold out.
questions. And here is C. Sperling.
Yeah.
He writes, are they happy with the speed at which they're making changes? Are there any changes they would like to make but haven't yet?
Well, I think in the context of the government, we're moving like lightning. In the context of what I'm used to moving, it's slower than I'd like. What seems like incredibly fast action by government standards is it's slower than I'd like, to be totally frank. But we are making solid progress. A very sort of thorny problem a tough problem. Really, it's kind of like painful homework, frankly, is reconciling all of the government databases to eliminate the waste and fraud. These databases don't talk to each other, and that's really the source of that's the biggest vulnerability for fraud, is the fact that these databases don't talk to each other. So we need to reconcile the databases. It's a frankly painful homework, but it has to be done, and will greatly improve the efficiency of the government systems.
We didn't talk about any plans to approach cuts at the Pentagon. You're in there.
The Pentagon has not passed an audit in a very long time. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, they will lose $20, $30 billion a year, and they don't know where. They literally don't know where it went. I mean, Senator Collins was telling me about how she.
Now, if we want to go ahead and throw on our conspiracy hat on, like, come on now, let's go ahead and throw on the tinfoil hat, because it's what black budget operations, black budget companies that work on, I mean, secret technology, alien technology, whatever you want to say. I mean, secret, I would say maybe secret military operations, anything that we're trying to keep a secret. That's what that 20 billion went off to. I know, right? I know, you got to put the tinfoil hat on for that one. Because, I mean, we're talking about the Department of Defense. We're talking about the military. 20 billion missing? I mean, that's a lot of money, and that can fund a lot of things.
Gave the Navy $12 billion for extra submarines, got 0 extra submarines. And then when she held a hearing, said, where'd the $12 billion go? They didn't know.
Talking to those guys, and you have a great team from all over the country. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. You know, there's now been these many cases of violence and vandalism at Tesla dealerships. How does that affect your employees, your customers? What does it mean to you? Like, how have you taken that in?
Well, I think a great wrong is being done to the people of Tesla and to our customers. I mean, Tesla is a peaceful company that has made great cars, great products. That's all it's done. Hasn't harmed anyone. And yet people are committing violence. They're firebombing Tesla dealerships. They're shooting guns into stores. They're threatening people. They're issuing death threats against me and other Tesla personnel.
That's tough.
What are they doing this for? Why? And what's happening, it seems to me, is they're being fed propaganda by the far left. And they believe it. It's really unfortunate. But the real problem is not the people. It's not like the crazy guy that firebombs a Tesla dealership. It's the people pushing the propaganda that caused that guy to do it. Those are the real villains here, and we're going to go after them. And the president's made it clear we're going to go after them. The ones providing the money, the ones pushing the lies and propaganda. We're going after them.
And it's been this evolution.
I mean, Elon looking a little deeper into it. He's like, bro, F the people who's doing it. No, I want to go after the people who's influencing them. I want to go after the people who's possibly paying them. Yeah, no, we need to go after them because it won't stop. Think about it. We can arrest all the vandals we want, but as long as this ideology is being spread and funded, it won't stop.
I mean, the last administration was going to mandate electric vehicles, and now you see on the far left some efforts to go after electric vehicles. It's quite
hilarious.
It is ironic. I mean, it seems like the most ironic outcome is the most likely. But yeah, I mean,
personally, it's got to take a toll.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. I think there's some real evil out there, and
breaking my shit.
We have to overcome it.
I mean, you have been called a Nazi, a white supremacist, a fascist.
I mean, they've got this sort of their
just
normal
to name
playbook.
a few. Yeah.
I mean, they've still got it. They haven't. I guess they still need to call me Stalin, Mussolini, whatever, Genghis Khan or whatever. I mean, they've called the president all these things. I think at one point there was a magazine cover which said the president was worse than that President Trump was worse than Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin combined. And the president hasn't killed anyone. He hasn't started any wars. In fact, he's good at
I mean, if you want to talk about the hoopties, I don't know about that. he got them. The Trump definitely got some Houthi blood on this. I mean, I'm sorry, but the Houthis. No, the Houthis. I keep effing that one up. But to go ahead and confirm his claims on these these credit cards. All right, he says up to 315,000 deactivated cards. So, damn. And here's the worst part about them, because I'm looking at them and these percentages that I'm seeing on them, that pretty much means how much money was already used on them. And let's be real, that they was maxing these mugs out like they knew Elon was coming. Oh, hey, at least we got him before it was any worse, right? Right.
Shopping wars. So this is obviously just, they're pushing these lies. And why do they push these lies? And I think that we need to hold people responsible for pushing these lies, because those lies almost got the president killed.
What's something that people wouldn't know about the president? You're pretty close to him now. You spend a lot of time with him. What's something that people wouldn't know?
I think the president is a good man. I think he is an honest man. And I've yet to see him do anything mean or anything that is wrong, that I would say morally wrong. Not even once.
You know, a lot is coming your way, but sometimes you say stuff or post stuff that gets attention. You give it out, in other words. Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly posted on X about his trip to Ukraine to push for continuing to send U.S. weapons and support there, and you posted that he was a traitor. Well, why do that?
Well, I think somebody should care about the interests of the United States above the interests of another country. And
Sure.
if they don't, they're a traitor.
Yeah, but he's a decorated veteran, a former astronaut, a sitting U.S. senator.
It doesn't mean it's okay for him to put the interests of another country above America.
Obviously, there are some Republicans who think supporting Ukraine is the right thing still, but there is a battle back and forth about how do you think it comes to an end?
Well,
Is that outside?
I think there will be a negotiated peace. And the thing that we should be concerned about is we should have empathy for the thousands of people that are dying every day in trenches for no movement in the lines. So the borders remain the same. For the past 2 years, thousands of people have died every week for nothing. For what? And I take great offense at those who put the appearance of goodness over the reality of it.
Yep.
Those who virtue signal and say, oh, we can't give in to Russia, but have no solution to stopping thousands of kids dying every day.
Bro, that's what kills me. It's like, oh, we can't give in to Russia. We can't give Russia what they want. I mean, bro, it's like, it's kind of like this. Is either we save Ukrainian lives and give Russia what they want, or Russia get what they want at the expense of more Ukrainian lives. Do you not understand the situation? Do you not? Like, that's the severity of the situation right now. There is nothing that there's nothing else we could do. Nothing else we can do for Ukraine, okay? They're screwed themselves into this situation. Well, really, NATO kind of got them in there. But, I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Zelensky, he has personal choices, right? He has discretion. And due to his discretion, this is where they're at. In a very, very bad position in the negotiation with Trump. Like, here's the worst part about it. Worst part about it is everybody's losing support for Zelensky. We all see that as a losing war, but nobody want to sit here and actually acknowledge the fact of that. We always want to sit here and call us evil. Oh, America's giving in to Putin and all that. I'm just like, bro, it's only been since Biden, since we were even like, I don't know, disgruntled with Putin, since we had beef with the man. I mean, Obama didn't want beef with him. Bush ain't want beef with him. But all of a sudden we get to Biden. We're all supposed to be like, what? Gun-ho on F Putin? No. I do not want to go against a superpower with